Let's read this problem. It reads, if x squared minus 2xy plus 6y squared equals 4, then dy dx equals, and so we're to find out what dy dx is equal to. And maybe you're taking a look at this problem and you're thinking, well, okay, I would probably need to isolate y, the variable y by itself. And you look through and you think, wow, I don't know if there's any way I could do that. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't look like there's any way that you could isolate for x. So what do you do if you can't isolate for either one of the variables? We do something called implicit differentiation. Implicit differentiation. All right, so what is the first step in doing implicit differentiation? Step number 1 is to take the derivative with respect to x and then simplify. So take the derivative with respect to x and then simplify. Okay, well, let's begin to do that. So what is the derivative of, let's take our problem term by term. So what's the derivative of x squared? And you're thinking, well, I can do that. It's 2x. But let's kind of apply the chain rule, and besides just writing down 2x, let's write down dx. That we want to take the derivative of x with respect to x. And you're probably thinking, well, I don't see any reason why to do that because dx is equal to 1. But let's go ahead and do that because it'll help us when we get around to taking the derivative of y with respect to x. So let's continue on. Now what's the derivative of the second term? And may I suggest that we divide it up into two factors, one factor being negative 2x and the other factor being y. And let's apply the product rule. So let's see, it's first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first, or maybe you've learned it reverse from that. Either way, because of the commutative property, we'll get the same result. So let's go with first times the derivative of the second. So what's the first? Negative 2x, and then times the derivative of the second. The derivative of y is 1, and then dy dx. So 1y dx. So we've done first times the derivative of the second. Now let's do second. That would be plus y times the derivative of the first, and that would be negative 2 dx. Okay, let's move on to the third term, and there we'll just apply the power rule, and we'll get 2 times 6 is 12y, and then dy dx. And what do you get when you take the derivative of the 4? That's just 0, and no sense in putting anything besides 0 down there. Can we simplify this? Well, as we saw, dx is just equal to 1. And so keeping that in mind, let's look and see how we can rewrite this. We have just 2x, the dx cancels out, it's just 1, minus 2x dy dx minus 2y, there's another dx, so that's just 1, plus 12y dy dx equals 0. Okay, what's step 2? Step 2 is to put dy dx terms on one side of the equation. So put dy dx terms on one side, and all the other terms put on the other side of the equation. So put dy dx terms on one side and the other terms on the other side. Okay, so which terms have dy dx in it? The 12y dy dx and the minus 2x dy dx. And let's put them in that order. Let's put the positive term first. So 12y dy dx minus 2x dy dx, we just change the order there, equals, and we'd move the other terms to the other side, and let's write the positive term first, so that'll be 2y minus 2x. Next step, step 3, is to factor and isolate dy dx. Okay, we could do that. First, let's factor out dy dx, and what do we get? We get dy dx, and then open up a parentheses and put 12y minus 2x in the parentheses. We factored out the dy dx, equals 2y minus 2x. And so we factored out the dy dx. Now let's isolate for it. So how do we get dy dx all by itself on the left side of the equal sign? We just divide both sides by 12y minus 2x. And when we do that, it's eliminated from the left-hand side of the equal sign, and then we'll just have 2y minus 2x all over 12y minus 2x. And our fourth and final step then is to just simplify. And so if you look back, you could see that, well, we could do one thing first. We could factor out a 2 out of both the numerator and the denominator. So let's do that, and we will have then dy dx equals 2 times y minus x, and that is over 2 times 6y minus x. And you can then see that the 2's cancel out, and we are left with nothing but y minus x over 6y minus x. We have found dy dx. See ya.